Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sergio Dominguez with the season 29 commentary of the Sergio Show. Oh man, season 29. This is one of my favorite seasons so far. And this all started after I finished season 28. But after I finished season 28, there was a over 3 month delay. I mean, I just wanted to take a 1 month break, and that 1 month turned into 3.5. So many unfortunate things, but it's no big deal. Ultimately, I finally got back to the show in the middle of July or so. This was just after getting COVID a second time. The last time was like 2 years ago. But I got over it and I was like, let's do this. But even then, there was preparing throughout those 3 months, like voice recordings and really looking through this season and stuff. So it was crazy. But this turns out to be one of my favorite seasons. It's very personal because I love theme parks. I love theme parks. I've been to a couple and I've grew up with them and I still go to this day. And I just want to put things I love into the show, of course. And I just realized I love theme parks. I love theme parks so much that I want to make a season dedicated to it, a theme season, in this case, the theme of it. So that's where season 29 is. And that's the theme of the season. And I want it to be special, and it's inspired by a couple of things. And one of the things that's inspired is a certain ride has a certain pre-show videos, vignettes, bumpers to it, and I wanted that to be the real structure of the season. Each episode is like a bumper of a pre-show of a ride, and each episode would poke fun of certain aspects and rides of a theme park and theme park experience. I'm not gonna say what ride it is, but fans might get what I'm talking about. And this was so much fun. It took like a month and a week to finish, but it was crazy. A lot of drawings, a lot of things to do, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. That's all I can say. It was fun. A little bit anxious because I was like, this was at a time where I was like, oh, it's been too long to make this show when it comes to delay. And then when I got to him, like, when is it gonna end? Even though I was maybe a couple of weeks into it, because I never really know when it will end. So I'm very hard on myself, thinking every episode would take long, but each episode took a couple of days. One episode I think took 5 days, but it's also this thing where I did in order, and it was like a world building experience. If you notice, every episode, well, after the first one, you see the theme park grow and grow, which is a little bit of me not only trying to build this world as I was building the world, but also developing it and just building the attractions and stuff, you know. So so yeah. When it comes to theme parks, my favorite kinds of theme parks are the studio inspired theme parks, because they're all like Hollywood based, so they try to bring a little bit of the Hollywood cinematic experience to a place where you wouldn't usually see it. And that's where that escapism comes from, and I love that kind of theme park theme of a park. So I wanted to poke fun at that. Oh, this is like a nice special effect. Not only I animated it, obviously, but I did do like a special effect on the sides where I use this perspective change. That's how I got this like front view. It has a nice like slide-ish view, but it came out really cute, really nice. I think the challenge with this was throughout the season was to add more more people to make it a little bit populated, but because I'm a cheap show, and this thing is cheap to make, I had to have the theme be cheap. We've all experienced a cheap theme park here and there, kind of. But this is loosely inspired on what I grew up on and certain rides that a lot of us have grown up on, especially this. I like that. Oh no, effects. What do we do? Nothing. We're gonna be fine. It's 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 fine. Um, The lineup for this season was crazy because I had all, like I said, explore through a theme park and things to do in a theme park. So I made a list and I lined up the list into this paper of how I set up the season. And throughout the whole thing, I had to change ideas. Like, the season premiere was me getting ready for it. I was gonna originally check into a hotel and go through security, but I changed that idea for later in the season. And like this episode, this one, I was just gonna walk around the park and point some things out, but I changed that to let it be a studio tour. I can poke fun with that, improvise some material. This is all improv the whole season. Then when I recorded that dialogue back in June, I end up going back and re-record some of these things. By the time I actually got into production in late July, mid-July. But this was fun. This was fun. You can kind of, if you're a theme park fan, especially the studio theme park, you can kind of see hints of what I'm going for, without getting into trouble. But fun. The whole season was fun. I didn't have to focus on story. I didn't want to focus on story. I just want to focus on the theme park experience and me poking fun of it and having fun. And there was a lot of drawings to this whole season, digitally and hand drawn. Excuse me. I'm gonna drink. But it was fun. Now, even though the studio tour is a dark ride, I want to poke fun at specific dark rides. This was a I want to say, what is it? I recorded this, but then I ended up adding some more jokes when I actually got to the episode. I try to think of everything as a whole, record as much as I can, but then when I actually get into the episode, I was like, let me change this and re-record that and add more jokes. So as much as I want to pre-plan all this, you don't really get to do the details until you actually get to do them. But even though there's a lot of new drawings, you can see some things recycled throughout the season 2 of this season. That's inspired by something. If you know what I'm talking about, you kind of get it, but I had to keep it as vague, but you get it. It's a wink. That one too. That one for sure. That's nice. You can also tell what is drawn by marker and what's drawn digitally. That's digitally. But it was just fun drawing different ways, and when I get to the art look through of this, it's gonna be fun. Oh yeah, I think this was I added this joke because I was like, what else can I do? Then I recorded for this part, and yeah. Animatronic of the future. So yeah, if it is a fairly short season runtime wise, but you know what I'm trying to get with this season and why it was this long as it is. But yeah, this episode also didn't change. It was the idea, and I kept it there because everything else. Let's see. Yeah, episode 281 concept kept the same. 83 same. 85 same. It was yeah, it was fine. Yeah. I love the look I gave myself for this season. I didn't want to use my regular clothes. And it's inspired by a couple of movie themed shirts that I have, like literal like movie material theme, like film strip, film canister, movie camera, projector. I for the shirt, button down shirt. I do wear button down shirts when I go to the theme parks a lot of the time, some of the time, and I love it. And with that, I actually just took blue construction paper, marker, draw these little things, scanned it into Toon Boom, and I found out I can make my own texture. So it's a texture. I can just click a button, it's colored in. Because I wanted blue. That's why there's like I said, texture to it, because it was construction paper texture of a marker drawing, and it came out really well. I love it so much. I love how I look. Yeah, you see film strip and projector. It's so neat. It's really neat. And I do wear a hat. You gotta wear those baseball caps when you're in the park and protect yourself from the sun. Now this one, I was like, originally it was going to be a stage show, then a 40 stage show, then it would be me waiting in line. But no, with this, I re-improvised the episode, and that would be a parade. Theme parks have parades, but this is the best I could think of. And I also wanted to add cast members, employees of the park, and I just quickly drew some cast members. I wanted the designs to be really fun and fair when it comes to like the fun, really wide range of designs for the cast members and employees. No disrespect, this is just supposed to be fun. And like I said, I recycled some things like that turkey balloon. That's funny. That one's pretty funny when it comes to parades and holidays, of course. But this one, it took editing to really put this together. Because I just animated these shots and cut it in. This was a fairly quick episode to make, but it was the parade. But you know what? Should I say it now? Yeah, I'm gonna say it now. This whole season, production-wise, was like, interestingly enough, a roller coaster. It started off slow, and then in the middle of the season, which we're getting to, was like peak, like whoa, and then after 285, 286, it really went downhill. Downhill production wise, where it was still quicker to do, but it was like calm. I remember the 285, 286 were crazy episodes to make, and before then, after that, it was like so it was like and we're getting to the peak. We're about to get the peak, and then we're gonna fall. Oh my gosh! But yeah, 285, 286 are my two favorite episodes of the season, and we're getting to them any second. Yeah. It's nice I put the concept of my passion into this season. Like I said, I love animation. I love theme parks. Glad to get to do that here. And thank you for tolerating all of this. You can see Spoofquee Studios growing. Now, oh yes, like my favorite kind of ride are motion simulators, which is just you're sitting on a ride vehicle and it moves around electronically and in front of a screen and it moves around to the screen, And I love that. That's my favorite kind of ride. I love going to those. I know it's controversial in the theme park community about that kind of attraction, but I love it. And originally, this episode had more dialogue of me really praising it comically, but now I just don't do it through all facial expressions and hype and excitement. But I did go the extra mile and try to animate like a screen effect, then play it on my TV, then with my camera recorded off of it, and then there's it's enough special effect, and this season had a lot of special effects because theme parks have a lot of special effects to them. A lot of also screen-based effects. Oh, but I love this. This is my favorite, and the other one too. Yep, this is the effect. Recording off of a screen and adding a little bit more effects. I sped that up. And also that time code up there, I think I had to edit it a little bit to make the frame, so I think it is off. It goes up to 60. But that's because I went on a theme park ride that had a screen. It was during its technical rehearsal, and you saw the time code, a huge time code on this big curved screen. It was hilarious. I loved it, and it's something you can only do in technical rehearsal. So I just put that as a joke, but I love it, and you can see that I love it. That's my favorite kind of ride. Not everybody's favorite, but I love this episode. Came out really well. I feel like this had a lot of heart to it, even though it was quick. But all of these are very quick because it has a quicker pace to it, and it's based on something where each vignette bit was short. But yeah, now we're still at that peak, and we're gonna go down. Oh my gosh, what's the next one? What's the next one? Wait. Yep. Also, I made 3 commercials because, I love the theme park commercials. I grew up with these park commercials, and we all seen them online. We got nostalgic for it to when we get to it. Yeah, so I grew up with those if I couldn't go to a theme park. So that's where I decided to make 3 Spoofly Studios theme park commercials. One with a 90s vibe, here with the 2000s vibe, and one with a modern vibe. And you see one beginning and middle in this case. So and those were all 3 made last after just finishing that season finale. And it was just a lot of fun editing and animating random shots. It was all cute, really fun. So this episode, originally this was going to be me going to a restaurant, but then a scary ride, then meet and greet, but then I changed it to a roller coaster. And it was going to be 287, but I put it up to earlier because I'm like, I worked on this episode with a ride that I love, but now I'm going to do an episode of a ride that I hate. And I hate roller coasters. And I'm showing you now. I had a traumatic experience as a young kid going on a roller coaster that was so intense that it was traumatizing. And you can see the trauma going through my face. And also, the first time you get to see a younger version of me. I remember drawing this younger version of me on paper and going, this is kind of historical for me and for the production of the show to draw a younger version of me like that. You know, I was a little bit more overweight and didn't have glasses. And I still want to keep the 5s, 10s of the hair points. This also happened to me in 2010, where I thought, this is going to be a harmless roller coaster. Why not? Because I can only go on small roller coasters, even though I made a joke about that later in the episode. But with this one, I really did have a sore throat, and it was painful and screaming. This attraction lied to me. No, but yeah, I didn't want to animate me going on this roller coaster because this episode took 5 days or so, and it was because animating that roller coaster you see was frame by frame, and me figuring out how to animate this roller coaster that I drew. Yeah, so it was this animation of this whole roller coaster going through, and me cutting it and putting it throughout the episode. So that's this thing visually. Let me try to pull off because it was, and also that one camera POV was interesting, but also I love this because that did happen at a time where the show was in that kind of quality. So it's nice to go back. I still have the original models, and this was going to be quick to animate, and it was, so that's fun to call back to the show, that era. This was I tried to make this simple, but I tried not to rip off a joke that there's a really funny joke about a kiddie roller coaster on a certain animated show that I try really hard not to rip off, so that's the best I can do. But this was also fun to also express what I hate. The certain kind of theme park ride that I hate, and I really hate roller coasters. And now you know why. So that's a little bit more, emotionally opening for me, and I love it. I love how I got to execute all that. And it's very heartwarming for me, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you understand about roller coasters. Let me know in the comments down below about your experience with theme parks and all that good stuff. Yeah. So wonderful. Alright, so since I moved that up, I crossed that out, and I was like, okay, you know what? There's a lot of smaller things to do in a theme park that I've done. So let me just make a quick list, record some new lines, have a nice quick montage, and go. This is a special effect also. He's behind a green wall. This is a green screen effect for this character. So it's all green. I keyed it out. I took this the animation of the park, stretch it out, blur it for an effect like that. I wanted to do that, but that was one of my few chances. You can see I put two new drawings, try to add more cast members, more guests. You can see some from the show, if you remember. That's a rip off of Iconic Snack. Me going that one little ride. Yeah, this one was very simple, but if you've been to a theme park, you know the small things you go through. God, there were a lot of drawings to this season, which is no problem. Bench! The bench. Drawing the character like that is, and animating the character is so much fun when he's happy. That was good. There was a lot of fun editing. A lot of fun editing and effects to this season. But that was also a chill episode to make, and the rest of them is a little bit chill. Well, I think maybe the one of the last ones was took a little bit long just because it had a lot of it had a big background and a lot of things to do. But yeah, that was a good one. All right, this one, it's restaurant. I love restaurants. I love themed restaurants. With not just like designs, but also even effects and stuff with these restaurants. And I was like, oh, theme parks have that. Let me do one. Originally, this was going to be me going on scary rides, but after the roller coaster one and just thinking about restaurants, I moved that to here. And there you go. I wish it was more detailed. I wish it was more themed. But that's honestly the best I can do. I try to think of more, but anything more, I would put that in editing. I put that in post, as you'll see later. You know, I thought I didn't draw enough cast members, but this is pretty good. Yeah. Food here. Like there's some recycled assets. Those are supposed to be like chips, potato chips, and French fries. And whenever you go to a theme park, they have different shapes. One cylinder, one classic French fry shape, rectangle, all that stuff. So I did that, and also the logo SS Boufqui Studios. You see, now you see different kinds of other qualities of like those film reels and projection for this restaurant. That's supposed to be animatronic strippy the film strip. I did have to obviously create a lore to this park, which is a satire of Hollywood people and how they go from that to theme park. Like it is called Spoofqui Studios. Now, originally, that name was not going to have the letter Q in it, but because when I was making that name, I found out that name without the Q was already done, and there was a million view video where someone just made up that word without the Q, and it was so funny and repetitive. And I tried Googling that word before. I was like, oh, nobody used it. But then I found out this video that has a million views, so darn it. So I'm like, ugh, let me add a Q with it, good enough. Because there was a frustrating time where I had to think of a name for this park. Not make it too serious. I did not want to use Maxable Studios, because that's also a fictitious movie studio in the universe. I didn't want to give it its own park yet. But this one I want to be a little bit more original, more of an introductory to this. We live with a lot of different kinds of studios these days. Some of them merging into other ones. But you know what I'm talking about. I want this to be a little bit more fresh. I try to gradually have the sun set to make it show that you're throughout the day with him. So, yeah. Okay, this was going to be the roller coaster episode, but I changed it to merchandise gift shop. And I love gift shops. I love merchandise. Usually, I don't actually wait until the end of the day because sometimes it closes early, some of the gift shops. And sometimes, especially if it's a shirt, maybe they'll run out of it. So whenever I'm there and it's there in the moment, I'll get it. Maybe I'll say, come back later. Gotcha. But if it's so special and I really love it, I'll get in that moment while I'm in the park. This is just me just trying to set this theme up. But this is cute. I love Into the Screen. Into the Screen! That's a parody of something. And you know what that is. I know, that's an animation of me just dancing and getting myself hyped up. I think I had to remake it, but re-edit the frames a little bit. Yeah, I think just one drawing go, This one took a while to make only because of the gift shop with the settings and stuff. I reused some assets, but since this was like a lot of things, a lot of items to really feel like a gift shop with stuff in it, it came to this. So this one took a while. I like that this theme park has a history to it, like a lot of theme parks do. And recently, they're opening up their past history for all of us, and I'm thankful for that. So this was a simple episode, like the other ones. A little while to make, but 5 days. I think the longest an episode this season was 5 days, and it was not because the episode took long to make. I had other things in the way. hmm But this is good. This is such a good season, like personally good. That I got to just get this creatively out of my system. I feel satisfied. I feel very satisfied with this season and just that it's out of my head and into the world. And I'm glad you hopefully enjoyed it. Here it is, nighttime. Theme parks at nighttime are beautiful. This one, meh. Yeah, you can see I reused some animation, but when I do, since it is puppet animation, I can move the keyframes here and there to not make it too much of a copy paste. There's creative ways and clever ways to get around keyframe puppet animation. So, this one was also FX heavy. I wanted to look originally. I wanted to actually build a model of this and buy an actual projector, then project it, then record off of it to give it that feeling that you're seeing it recorded, like you see in internet videos of people recording nighttime shows. But I didn't have time, so instead I just took a setting. I made the video separately. Then I composite in editing. That's why it has that faint look to it. It's supposed to look faint. When you look at a projection of exterior nighttime of a theme park nighttime show, it has that faded look to it. And this symbol of the under construction thing, that's because that was made up at the end. Because this was a part where I had to re-record this. And originally it was going to be something else. And it was going to be something else, but then I changed it to a nighttime show since it's the ending of the season. So that's why recording actually me holding the actual strip of the film strip drawing. So this was a lot of effects. Me just putting it together, making it look like a projection effect. But yeah, but this came out well. It took a couple of layerings and a couple of exports, but yeah, I tried my best. And that under construction building, I drew it, and I forgot to put that as a gag for episode 287, so I'll just put it in the season finale as the thing, as the symbol of the park, even though you don't see it. That's why it's just like edited in. But it came out well, and I wanted it to be a minute long, and it came out really well. The whole season came out really well for me, and I hope you enjoyed it for now. So again, this was season 29 of the show. I loved it. I hope you did too. Here's to season 30. Let's see if we can do this, folks. Again, thank you very much for watching. I had fun. I hope you had fun watching it. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on social medias and all that stuff. Thank you again. I am Sergio Dominguez saying, have an animated day. Thank you. Season 30 on my way. Oh yeah, one more commercial. Nice. A lot of fun effects and editing. Great. Thank you. One more time.